The communist-led National Democratic Front, or NDF, is open to resuming peace talks with the government. Communist Party of the Philippines founder and NDF chief political consultant Jose Maria Sison made the statement in a podcast posted on his website. According to Sison, the two parties may return to the negotiating table by mid-January or after the visit to the Philippines of Pope Francis. Meanwhile, presidential advisor on the peace process Teresita Deles welcomes Sison's remarks as very positive. Freddie Abando reports.
The government panel suspended peace talks with the National Democratic Front and the Communist Party of the Philippines and the NPA in April of 2013. There has been an impasse of 22 months prior to the suspension due to the lack of sincerity and political will of the NDF to resolve key issues. On the 46th anniversary of the founding of the Communist Party of the Philippines and the new People's Army, its chairman Jose Maria Sison has issued a statement to declare its intention to restart the peace talks in mid-January. Former NDF spokesperson Casatura Ocampo said Sison's declaration is welcome news for the country. Ocampo, his wife Carolina Malay, and the late Antonio Sumel conducted the first peace talks between the government and the communist rebels during the term of the president's mother, the late President Corazon Aquino.
I'm always happy when there are prospects of a resumption of the long-suspended peace negotiations between the government and the National Democratic Front. It's unfortunate that after the Aquino government formally and resuming on a very good footing, reaffirming all the 12 previous agreements, there were conflicts of interpretation, and which led to a suspension indefinitely of the peace talks.
Ocampo beard that friends from both panels have been conducting back-channel talks for the past 2 months. It was confirmed by presidential advisor on the peace process, Teresita Deles. Deles stressed no meetings were conducted by any member of both panels.
Recently, of course, there have been efforts of certain parties, and a welcome one was the initiative of a former member of the government negotiating panel during the Macapagal Arroyo government, who is quite close to the ruling party, to try to follow through on the last initiatives of the NDF through Joma Sison. When in the suspended talks, there was either to resume what they called the formal negotiations, or to take on another tack, it's a second track as they call it, which may constitute an agreement in principle of a 10-point or 12-point agenda. And then once the government agrees to that, there will be a truce.
The meeting of special teams and friends addressed the key issues which led to the breakdown of the talks, the JASIG and the implementation of the agreements on human rights. To be discussed in the resumption of the talks are social and economic reforms, constitutional reforms, and the disposition of forces and the signing of the peace agreement. Ocampo is hoping that both panels can finish the talks before the president ends his term on June 30, 2016. A fitting legacy for the president to fulfill his late mother's quest for peace with all rebel groups in the country.
It would be a very definitely welcome development if President Pinoy would take up seriously the commitment of his mother to end the long-armed conflict between the government and the left revolutionary forces by addressing the root causes. The key addressing the root causes is mainly itemized in the social and economic reform agenda.
For the People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando reporting.